Tonight's project is this 1997 Dodge Ram 2500 with a 360 in it, 4x4, of course. It is regular cab. I actually love this truck, but I've not been using it for a long time, so a buddy of mine's probably going to end up using it from me. He just hit a deer, so he needs a vehicle to drive. So, more than likely, I got a wheel hub assembly to change because I think the wheel bearing went out. And I'm going to do the front brakes at the same time as I got it lifted up already. Pedal feels like it goes down a little too far for my taste. So I'm going to do like I did in that one front brake pad video I did on that 2008 Ram 2500. Let's get started. Okay, guys. I think I was blatantly wrong on the whole bearing deal. Let me show you why. All right, pop the wheels off. You notice right here, these pads are almost darn near gone. Now what's gonna be different from these front brake calipers compared to the ones I did on the 08 is that it's not a regular bolt back here holding on. You actually need, what is this, a 3/8 hex socket. There's one on the top, one on the bottom. We'll see what it looks like when I get it off. All right. Got it off pretty darn easy. Just like I said, that bolt here, it's a 3/8. I think we probably got to this just in time. Look at that, there's almost no pad left. And there's no play in this hub bearing at all. So I'm gonna say it's all right. I mean, luckily the rotor still feels pretty smooth, so I don't see any damage. I'm just gonna push this in, get the new pads on there, and we'll call it good. Well, I'll put it back together too. All right. Now, unlike the other one where I was able to only use just one C-clamp to close that up, I'm gonna be using two, just so I know I'm getting in there good and keeping everything kind of straight as it pushes back in. Also, before I throw this all back together, I'm gonna be cleaning up here and here. And this pack that came in with the brake pads came with lubricant, so I'll use that as well. All right, gonna keep rocking here. Now, I'm sorry that didn't get to show you guys how to check for the wheel bearings, but basically what you do is you grab the tire while it's raised up off the ground, and you kind of push side to side and up and down. If there's no movement, like it's solid, you're good to go. And then one thing I like to do too is I rotate it. Now, sometimes you'll hear those brake pads kind of grinding a little bit on the rotor, but that's not necessarily a bearing. It's another thing when you got the caliper off like I did there, and I swapped the brake pads, you rotate it again. Feel how smooth it is. If you feel any roughness in that bearing, go ahead and change that darn thing. Both wheel hubs were good on that pickup. My buddy's already gone. Sorry, we got talking too much. I didn't get to shoot much more video on that. We did have a cracked brake line, but he's got to get home. It's downpouring here, but it's blizzarding just west a couple hours, so he's got to get home before that gets here. So we just crimped the brake line so we could get there. But yeah, you spin it, feel any grinding or anything, or there's any movement when you got that tire on there and you're trying to go back and forth with it or up and down, replace the hub. Don't even question it, just replace it. It's going to be a pain, and the next time I have to do a hub assembly, I will shoot the video and I will show some tricks on how to get those off. But yeah, that was it. We replaced the brake pads. Rotors were good, calipers were good. They weren't leaking. I got to push back in. For that pickup, here I got the old pads here. Here's the old pads. They're pretty easy. On this one, it's going to sit, like if you're looking at like this is the caliper, these butterfly wings here, they just kind of pull out and clip in there. Simple as that. The other side, it just pushes in. That's all it is. A lot simpler than that 08 Ram 2500 I did. The caliper just slid back on, 2 bolts in, tightened down, it was good to go. So So real simple, but yeah, the noise I was hearing on that one that made me think hub originally, before I actually inspected it, was just these horrible, horrible looking brake pads. I'm surprised the rotors were still smooth and not grooved out. All right. Well, sorry for the short video. I didn't get too much detailed in that. Y'all already saw me do front brakes before. It's just that the wheel hub assembly, you just kind of wiggle back and forth. Now this is a different pickup, but like I said, you got tire on. You're gonna grab one hand here, one hand at the bottom. With this raise in the air, just kind of push with one hand and pull with the other, and wiggle it back and forth, up and down, and do the same thing side to side. One hand here, wiggling it. You don't feel any movement, great, pull the tire off. And then when you got your front brakes off, because you'll kind of, those pads will make it sound like there's an issue, like I ran into. Then you can sit there and you can rotate it, feel smooth. You kind of wiggle it again, you know, trying to put some pressure on it, see if you get any play at all. If it's nice and sturdy, spin smooth, you're ready to rock, good to go. Put everything back together. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Like I said, next time I do a wheel hub assembly, I will definitely do kind of a step-by-step on that and show you some tricks on how I've had to take those apart before. All right, peace out.